Hi there, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name's Frederick Willer and today I want to talk about the Chessex vinyl battle mat. This is the Chessex vinyl mat. You can purchase the Chessex vinyl battle mat from Amazon, online. You can get it from Chessex, or you can get it from your game stores. Sometimes game stores actually stock it. This is a very expensive product, so just bear that in mind. There are other options. You don't necessarily have to buy one of these. This mat is quite large. This is the largest size. There are two sizes. There is a medium size mat and a large mat, and I suggest you purchase the one that's going to fit on your table. The scale of the mat is broken up into 1-inch squares on one side, and it also has the 1-inch hex grid on the other side, which I will quickly just show you. So you can see the various miniatures fit within the squares provided on one surface. You can draw pretty much anything you want on this particular surface. It's very flexible. You need to use the correct markers. Chessex actually sells the markers for this mat, which are non-permanent wet erase. You can purchase other types of wet erase markers, such as overhead projector pens, which are wet erase non-permanent, or other types of wet erase non-permanent markers. I have some here. You'll notice though, this particular set has no red pen. It has a black, a green and a blue. And the reason for that is I have found that as a general rule, the red marker will mark or stain your mat permanently, or it would take an extremely long time to remove. But black, green and blue seem to be fine. So you can just mark them as such. My black pen's not working very well, it's been used a lot. Black is by far the best colour to have. When I purchased my wet erase markers, I actually threw the red marker away, and I suggest that if you buy pens that are not made by Chessex for this mat, that you throw the red marker away, or at least test it on the side of your mat just in case, on maybe the side you're not going to use very often, to make sure it won't stain or cause you problems. These markers clean off with water, that's all you need, and maybe a rag or a paper towel. So just wet this. You'll notice it won't wipe off because it's not a dry erase surface, it's a wet erase, so you actually have to wet the surface down, like so, and then you get yourself a dry cloth or paper towel and it cleans away just like that. Now with respect to actually storing this mat, make sure you roll the mat up, don't fold the mat because you'll get creases through it and it's hard to get them out, it can take a long time. If you're going to use the square grid surface, make sure you roll it up so the square grid is on the outside, so when you unfold it or unroll it, your miniatures are actually going to sit on it. You'll find that the ends take a little while to sort of settle down. If you're going to use the hex grid, make sure you have the hex grid on the outside when you roll up the mat. Do not use a dry erase marker on this mat, and absolutely do not use a permanent marker on this mat. Don't get them confused, do not use them. You will find it either almost impossible to get it off, or if you do manage to actually get it off, you will damage the surface and take off the grid. Things like kids' crayons and felt tips, really they are super bad news. Do not use them, don't let the kids get at it, make sure you store it away from them. Now when I say it cleans up with water, it pretty much only cleans up with water. Do not use other products. Don't use alcohol, don't use household cleaners, don't use any other kind of product whatsoever, because it will either damage the mat or it will not come off. The marker will just stay in place. So don't think you can clean off with that. Make sure you stick to water. It's quite often people suggest things on the internet, you can clean it off with this or that, it works for me. Unless you see a video actually demonstrating, don't do it. Writing over hard to move off marks, so maybe you decide to leave this on for a couple of hours, you'll be fine. You can remove most of these marks with the wet erase marks if you leave it on for a couple of hours. Leave it on for a day, it's going to get harder. Black is probably the most forgiving colour, which is why I suggest you use that colour. If you leave it on for more than that time, you will find it very, very difficult to get it off the mat. So don't leave it on for too long. Make sure you clean it off as quickly as you can. It will stain your mat and take quite a long time to remove. This particular mat is really not suitable for a new dungeon master or somebody who's not experienced with a vinyl mat because they are very unforgiving. You make an error with this particular mat and it can cost you a lot of money because sometimes you'll find there is no solution for getting the marks off it. That's everything on the Chessex vinyl battle mat. Look, when I first started out dungeon mastering, I bought myself one of these particular mats and I didn't understand fully how to use it, therefore I made a lot of errors along the way. I hope this has provided you with some of the information you need to make sure you don't make the errors that I did. And if you found this video helpful or informative, please share, like and subscribe. If you haven't already, make a comment below and tell me, do you have a Chessex vinyl battle mat? What was your experience with it? Are you thinking of buying one? Are there any questions you have on the actual battle mat itself? And I will do my best to answer them as always. Until next time, keep rolling those 20s.